Disclaimer, I didn't get sponsored or paid or anything. Everything within this video is my personal opinion, no strings attached. Hello everyone. It has been quite a while since I posted my last and first recommendation for accessible online resources on orchestration, which was the Orchestration Recipes course series. I'd like to follow this up with a second recommendation, but this one will be much more than just another course. In fact, it's going to be a whole host of courses, free videos, entertainment, useful information and more, all created, produced and handpicked by none other than Christopher Siu. Christopher Siu, whose music you're listening to in the background, was probably the first person I found on YouTube when I was just starting out with Reaper and the desire to create orchestral music one day. I didn't have a virtual instrument back then, just a dream, and Christopher made me feel like I could do it somehow, someday. Putting accessibility aside for a moment, I started to learn all I could about orchestration, arranging, and instrumentation just by watching the videos that are available for free on his YouTube channel. And he continues to create new videos to this day. I quickly realized that not only does he create lots of valuable free content, but he also offers paid courses that are much more in-depth and informative than his videos. So I quickly decided to invest my money into myself and my music and give it a go, and what can I say? I didn't regret it. But here's the rundown on who Christopher is, what he does, and why it might be worth your while to check out his stuff. Christopher describes himself as a pianist, songwriter, composer, arranger, and educator who started making videos on YouTube 5 years ago. He started analyzing well-known themes like the Super Mario opening theme and creating videos on his favorite virtual orchestral instruments, but quickly expanded his arsenal to include all kinds of videos on orchestration, arranging, classical music in general and popular music too, score analysis, MIDI mockup techniques and much more. I also enjoy watching his sample library reviews. Although they might not cover topics that are of particular interest to you and me, such as NKS compatibility or accessibility of libraries in general, I really get a lot out of these videos in terms of sound and playability of the instrument. Which is why these days the videos are my first port of call when it comes to buying the next great virtual instrument for my collection. My desire to create sample library reviews for you actually came from watching his reviews here on YouTube, so this might be something for you to check out if you enjoy watching my reviews here on my channel. But his videos aren't the only free useful content he provides for us. He also hosts a variety of helpful ebooks on his website, which he regularly promotes, covering topics like his personal sample library buyer's guide or his orchestration essentials guide, which are really worth checking out. In addition to his vast amount of free content, Christopher has started to create comprehensive and well-structured paid content that can be found on his website. His two biggest courses are Cinematic Music Creation and Virtual Orchestration Mastery. Cinematic Music Creation takes you from a very basic explanation of each instrument in a typical classical or symphonic orchestra to your very first fully orchestrated piece of music, all explained in a concise and well-structured way. Virtual Orchestration Mastery then partly builds on that foundation, telling you everything you need to know to create great sounding and realistic mockups in your DAW using nothing but virtual instruments, which can be particularly daunting because, well, they are just virtual instruments, not real human players. And it takes some skill and specific techniques to make even the best virtual instrument sound like a real human performance you're listening to. In addition to these flagship courses, he also offers smaller courses, such as songwriting for animation, piano skills for the composer and songwriter, or expressive string arranging. And Guys, believe me, I haven't found the time yet, but I'm going to work my way through the piano scales course at some point. I mean, I want to get better at the piano, at least good enough to get my ideas from my head into my DAW. And this is exactly what the course is designed to teach you, so for those of you who want to produce an album at some point in the future, he's got a course where he goes through the process of making his own album called Freedom and tells you everything you need to know to create, mix, master and distribute your own album. Go out there and check out his album. It's on all major streaming platforms like Apple Music, Amazon, Spotify, you name it. But we all know that some of you might not be happy with watching hours and hours of seemingly endless material of videos, listening to music, trying hard in your DAW without any actual goal, and I'll tell you what, I've got you covered. Or Christopher has got you covered. From time to time, every 3 or 4 months I believe, he opens his Christopher Composing Community, or CCC for short, which is a closed community of all kinds of musicians who want to improve their skills and music while helping each other out. The community is a paid service on a subscription basis and costs about $20 every month. For some that might sound quite a lot, and it is a lot of money that you need to consider for sure. But here's what you get for that money. A masterclass video every month, which is typically about 30 minutes in length, and discusses different topics around composing, arranging, mixing and mastering, access to a diverse community with all kinds of cool and helpful people, a direct call with Christopher every month, allowing you to ask questions and get immediate responses, and the possibility to submit tracks to get feedback from Christopher and other people within the community. He isn't able to give one-on-one classes for everyone out there, you only got 24 hours a day, but a community like this is the closest to direct coaching you can get. I'm part of this community since day one because I really enjoy everything around Christopher's content and find it accessible enough for me to invest into. But having sung the hymn of praise, we must now face the hard facts. His material is not entirely accessible from a blind person's perspective. In fact, I contacted him after trying to follow one of the videos in his cinematic music creation course where he analyzes music and shows the score on screen, actively discussing it and referring to the visuals shown. And I, absolutely unable to follow his explanations because I literally can't see the visuals, asked him if there was any way I could get access to the visuals or if he would be willing to think about providing more accessible material in the future. I have to add that this was about 2 years ago at the time of uploading this video, but back then he wasn't really sure what to do about the problem because he couldn't think of a way to transcribe the score in an accessible way. But at least he read, understood and replied to my email, which is actually one of the things I love so much about Christopher and his whole approach to interacting with the community. He reaches out via email and not only promotes his video material or courses, but he wants to get active and constructive feedback and actually takes it seriously. He is always striving to improve his content and create more and better opportunities for his community to grow, not only in size like probably every other influencer out there, but also in skill. He has even started running composing competitions, which is definitely a great thing. I've actually made a whole video about why composing competitions are an absolutely great development, but how they could be even better in the future if people were just willing to be a little more creative. If you're interested, you can find the link in the video description and in the info card. Well, in conclusion, here's why you should check him out. Firstly, he makes some great orchestral music. 2, he has a lot of sample library reviews on his channel, which might be of interest to you if you are interested in new instruments that are somewhat related to orchestral music, but not exclusively orchestral music. Thirdly, all the free content is comprehensive and helpful. Even if you're not into orchestral music, he's got some tutorials and tips on mixing and mastering, as well as piano playing and music theory, so everyone should be able to find something of interest there. Last but not least, his paid courses build on the free content and go much deeper, explaining all the necessary details you need to be aware of when composing music, not just orchestral music. In addition, his community is a great digital space to work, share, and grow as a musician in general. I highly recommend you to check out the description of this video and click on the link when the video ends, which will be after you've subscribed and liked my channel. And we'll see each other again next Monday. Until then, bye bye, take care.